Okay.
Okay, and so it's okay, so it's working. Okay, great. You can stop.
Okay. Do you want me
Or
to?
pause.
It is recording.
It is recording. Okay, so I'm going to do this problem. We're going to do this problem together. I'm going to do it on the board behind me. So I'm going to stop sharing. And no, wait, I want to leave you here. And I want to move the problem over here. And then let me get really big here. And there we go. I think that'll do it. Okay. Everybody, speaker mode, right? So I'm like right there with you. Yes? And Mr. Oriana, mine speaker mode on yours too. Can you just see me really big?
Yes, I can.
Awesome. Okay, that's what's recording. Okay, good. So I have a function. Now they use y. I'm gonna call it f of x. Because y equals f of x, same thing. And the function is -1 divided by x minus 1. And I have to find the equation of the tangent, equation, of the tangent at x equals -4. That's what I'm trying to find. So if I need to find the equation of the tangent line, we'll call it the tangent line, so make it a little bit more specific here. I'll use the magic roll. Hang on a second. I should have had it open. Since, there we go, pre-calculus 2. What is the formula for the equation of a line? Jordan, formula for the equation of a line.
Y equals mx plus b.
Oh, we can use that one for the time being. Y equals mx plus b. And what does m represent, Jordan?
The slope.
That's right. M represents the slope. So who remembers something about the slope? I'll take a volunteer. It's a vague question, but there's something involved with this problem that has something to do with slope. What is that? You know what? That's a dumb question. Don't even answer that question. If I'm going to find the equation of the tangent line, I'm going to have to know the slope. I'm going to have to know the slope. And if I want to know the slope, I can use our special formula, the limit as h approaches 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x divided by h. This is the secret weapon. I don't like using militarist language, but that's what it is. That is our tool that we're going to use here. So let's start and ask a question. The question we're asking is, Mia, what is f of x plus h? How am I going to write f of x plus h?
You can write f of x plus h by writing, well, f of x plus h equals -1 over, and then parentheses x plus h, parentheses close, -1.
That's exactly right. Okay, is everybody clear on that? Hardest part of the problem right there, because we're just not used to doing it. Okay, well, one of the hardest parts. Okay, but I'm just taking x plus h and I'm substituting that in for x in my original function. So now if I want to find the slope here, I'm gonna find the limit as h approaches 0. Can you guys all see what I'm writing? Is it clear enough? Is it big enough? Yeah, okay, good. Okay. F of x plus h, well, I wrote what f of x plus h is, so I'm gonna write that -1 over x plus h minus 1. And I would encourage you to keep this x plus h in parentheses. I think you'll find it easier. So that's f of x plus h minus, well, f of x, that's what we started with. So minus -1 over x minus 1. And all of this is divided by h. So if it's okay with you, I'm going to start by, instead of having negative, I'm just going to change that to a plus sign. Is that okay with everybody? I just want to change it to a plus sign and make this problem a little bit less awkward. Okay. So where this problem gets a little bit ugly is I have a 3-layer fraction here, and I gotta do something about that. I gotta do something about that right away. Okay. So let's ask another question. Juji, I'm asking a question over here on the side. Okay, this is not a question related to this right yet, but it's going to be. Okay, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so if I had 3/7 plus 2/5, I want to add those together. What do I need to do to add those together?
I don't really know what you mean. Like,
Well, I can't add these together just as they are. I mean, you know, if I was multiplying, I would just multiply across. But if I'm adding, I have to have something that I'd have to do something to these to add them together. What do I need to do? Do you remember?
the common denominator.
Gotta find a common denominator. And how would I find a common denominator?
You have to work it out until you see like which of the two can both be the same.
Okay, well, so what am I going to do to this side? What am I going to do to 3/7 to get a common denominator?
I usually just turn it into a decimal, so I don't really remember.
Oh, you know, I don't like decimals. You shouldn't have even admitted that to me.
I know you don't like decimals.
All right, well, I don't want to turn it into a decimal. So what can I do? Should I go back to the magic bowl?
Yeah, I honestly don't remember.
Well, okay, but you're going to remember in a minute. This is like, and you really want to pay attention because I'm going to give you problems that are going to make you do this. Okay, Ariel, what do I have to do to add these two together as fractions, not as decimals?
You can multiply 3/7 by 5 over, yeah, and then the other one by 7.
By 7/7. I'm just to make sure, I'm just going to be a little bit sticky here. I'm multiplying 3/7 by 5/5 because 5/5 is 1, right? And I can multiply anything I want by 1, right? So this then would become 15/35, and this by 7/7 would become 14/35. So Juji, see, I have a common denominator now.
Yeah, I just had forgotten, but I remember now.
Okay, so that's why we're reminding you. So that'll be 29/35. So I have to find a common denominator. Okay. So I'm going to erase this part right here. And I'm going to go back to my problem over here. Now I want to simplify my numerator. But in order to do that, I have to have a common denominator. this denominator is different from that denominator. Everybody see that? So I gotta have a common denominator. And I'm gonna do the same thing I did over here, which I just erased. I'm gonna take the denominator from this one, this second piece, and I'm gonna multiply it over here. I'm gonna go x minus 1 divided by x minus 1. I think I'll put parentheses around this whole thing right there also. And on this side, I'm going to multiply by x plus h minus 1 over x plus h minus 1. So I'm going to pause right here and make sure everybody sees what I did and understands what I just did here. Okay. How about you guys with the cameras off? Do I get a thumbs up, thumbs down? Want to ask me a question? We're doing okay? All right. Well, okay, so let's do that then. So I want to now find the limit as h approaches 0. And just notice, I'm still finding the limit. I cannot get rid of, I have to write limit as h approaches 0 every step that I'm doing this problem. I can't just focus on the numbers here. I'm finding the limit as h approaches 0. That really has to be written until I am able to substitute. After I substitute, then I don't have to write the limit anymore. But I can't substitute because I still have this h as a denominator. So I'm going to multiply this right here. So -1 times x would be negative x, and -1 times -1 would be +1. And that is over. Now, watch how I'm going to write this, because I don't want you to FOIL this out. I want you to leave it in factored form. It's going to make your life a lot easier. So the denominator of this piece right here is x plus h minus 1 times x plus h. No, I got ahead of myself. Times x minus 1. Then I'm adding to that. So I have 1 times all this stuff here. It's just going to be x plus h minus 1 divided by the same denominator, x minus 1 times x plus h minus 1. Can everybody see that this denominator here is the same as that denominator there? I've just switched places, the x plus x minus 1 and the x plus h minus 1. They're the same denominator. I'm going to stop again, and I want to make sure that everybody's clear on what I did. I'm happy to say it again. I'm happy to take any questions, but I want to make sure you're on top of this. Are we okay? All right, I'm counting on you. So there's one thing I haven't done yet. I've kind of gotten my numerator set up, okay, but it's still all of this is divided by h. It's still all divided by h. I haven't gotten rid of that yet. I've been working on the numerator, but I still have the h as my denominator. Okay, so let's do a little bit more with this. So I'm gonna hope that I have enough room. I think I do. Okay. So I do have a common denominator. I'm still finding the limit. So I'm finding the limit as h approaches 0. Now I'm going to kind of write my numerator out. I have negative x plus 1 plus x not h, let's say plus x plus h minus 1. I just added these straight across. Is everybody okay with that? Okay. My denominator is x plus h minus 1 times x minus 1. That's my denominator of the, that's my denominator of the numerator. You know, what can I say? That's my denominator of the numerator, because I still have the major denominator here, which is still h. How are we doing? We're doing okay? Cameras off, people. Oh, good. I'm seeing thumbs. That's good. Okay. You stop me if you got a question. Okay. All right. All right. Good. All right. Well, I'm looking at this. I got a negative x and a positive x. Let's get rid of those. And I got a positive 1 and a negative 1. Let's get rid of those. So now what I have is I have the limit as h approaches 0 of h divided by x plus h minus 1 times x minus 1. And all that is divided by h. I'm just taking it step by step, simplifying as I go along. Well, now I have this 3-layer fraction, and I know I'm not allowed to have a 3-layer fraction. Oh, this is the beautiful part here. Okay, this is what you've all been waiting for. I'm going to take my denominator and multiply it by 1 over h. And if I do it to the denominator, I have to do it to the numerator, 1 over h. So that cancels out. And guess what? The h cancels out too. Also, not 2, also. So what I'm left with is I am looking for the limit. Can you still see it? Is it too low? Let's I want you to be able to see it. You can cut off my head now, it's okay. The limit as h approaches 0 of, well, then my denominator is gone and my h is actually gone, of 1 divided by x plus h minus 1 times x minus 1. I'm going to pause there again. I want to make sure everybody knows how we got where we are. We're doing okay. Okay. It looks complicated. It's just step by step, divide and conquer each step. Okay. So what I have, I can leave this here. Let's flip the screen. Whoops. I have the limit as h approaches 0 of 1 over x plus h minus 1 times x minus 1. And now I can do substitution. Even though I have an h in the denominator here, and I'm looking to substitute in 0, that's not the only thing in the denominator anymore. There's other stuff in the denominator. So I can now change this to, I'm going to substitute in my 0. So I'm no longer looking for a limit. I'm doing the substitution. It's 1 divided by x plus 0 minus 1 times x minus 1 which becomes 1 over, well, I don't care about the 0, x minus 1 times x minus 1, which is 1 divided by x minus 1 squared. This is the formula to find the slope at any point on that function. That's why we were finding the limit. We were doing the limit so we could find the slope. This is the formula now to find the slope at any point on that function. All right, well, if I kind of go back to my problem was that f of x is equal to negative 1 divided by x minus 1. And I am looking to find the slope where x is equal to negative 4. So, well, all I have to do is take this negative 4 and plug it into my formula here. So I'm going to go m, that's the slope, is going to equal 1 divided by negative 4 minus 1 squared. Well, that looks to me as if that's 1 over negative 5 squared, 1 over 25. That should be my slope for this function. All right, we've done all this work. We better hope that Mr. Jenkins is right, because we're going to test it out. We're going to graph it, okay? I should have graphed it to begin with, but why didn't I do that? I mean, do what I say, not what I do, okay? No, do both. Do what I say and what I do most of the time. Okay, so what's going on here? Where's my?
Mr. Jenkins, I have a question.
Yes, please.
For what we got for m equals slope, what happened to the negative sign in the numerator?
Okay, so you're asking about this negative sign right here, yeah?
Yes.
Hope I didn't drop it. Let's see. F of x plus h. We change this to positive, right? I had negative x plus 1 plus x plus h minus 1. And so when we started canceling out the x's and the 1s, that negative sign went away. Okay.
Yes.
At least I think it did. We're gonna graph it and make sure I didn't make a mistake. So let's find out. Let's pull this back here. Over again. Okay, so stop. Share the screen. There's the problem. Let's get Desmos up here. All right, so my function f of x is equal to negative 1 divided by x minus 1. X minus 1. So here's what the graph looks like. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good about this, right? Because I'm looking over here where x equals negative 4. So let's just write in here, x equals negative 4. Now let's not do that. Let's do it like this. Let's take a snip. Here's what the function looks like. So where x equals -4, it looks to me like my tangent line is going to be pretty flat. It's not going to be really steep. It is going upwards, right? But right there where it touches, it's not really very steep. Am I making sense here? No, I'm losing you. Speak to me.
Mr. Chicken, can you say that again?
Yes. Okay, so if we go look at the board again, I came up with a slope of the tangent line of 1/25, 1/25. That's a very small but positive slope. So a steep slope, I'm just going to write on the board here, right? A steep slope, looks like that, right? But like a small slope, 1/25, that's more kind of flattish. You follow what I'm saying here? Rise over run means I'm only going up 1 for 25 that I'm going across. Right? So I can see that I have a positive slope right there at -4, but it's not a very big slope. So I'm feeling pretty good about 1/25 being my answer. Everybody's with me still? Somebody want to ask a question? No, not yet. Okay, let's go back. Let's stop sharing. Okay, I want to go back to the board here. You're looking at the board, right? That's what you're seeing? Okay, okay, good. All right. So I found my slope. Now I still need to find the equation of the tangent line. And I don't want to use y equals mx plus b. Because then I have to calculate b. And I don't want to calculate b. I want to use point slope form. I want to use y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. Well, I know that my x is -4. I just need to find my y. So the point that I'm looking for on that function is the point -4 something. And I have to find out what that something is. How am I going to find out what that something is? Okay, Maria, tell me.
Oh, well, it wasn't about that. I had a quick question from when we did the slope. So I know that f of x is -1 over x minus 1. And then we added that -4. Would the negatives cancel each other out?
Here you mean?
Mm-hmm.
No. So this is my function right here. And I'm trying to find out the slope where x equals -4. So if I go back to my picture here, let me share my screen with you. Are you looking at the picture right now? The graph? Yeah, okay. So what I'm trying to find here is what is the slope of the tangent where x equals -4. So I want to find out what is the slope of the tangent right at that point. Okay, so the fact that it's negative makes no difference as to whether I have a positive slope or a negative slope. It's just it happened. Can you see that the slope of this red line is just slightly positive? You can see that, okay? Yeah, so it's not that they're canceling each other out, the negative and the negative. It's just happens to be that way. Okay, okay. So let's go back to the board. So the question is, I know that my x value is -4. How do I find my y value at that point? So Isabella C, can you tell me? If I know my x value, how do I find the y value at that point? Are you here, Isabella?
Oh yeah, I'm here. I'm just thinking about.
Okay, that's fine. Thinking is good. Take your time.
Do you like plug it into the what is it called? Sorry, not the point slope form, the slope intercept or
No,
or
no, not yet. I know the X value. And I want to know the Y value of that point on my function.
oh then I don't know.
Well, you do know, but you're just not putting it together right yet. So hang on. Let's try, we'll give somebody else a shot here. Crystal, do you know what I do?
So I was gonna say you plug it into the equation that was f of x equals -1/x-1.
That's exactly right. Is it Isabella, C, do you understand what Crystal just said? Isabella, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so do you understand what she just said?
Yeah, can she say it again though?
Yeah, say it again, Crystal.
I was just gonna say you plug in -4 into the equation f of x equals -1/x-1.
So Isabella, this is my function. This is that graph that I just made. And if I want to find out what is the Y value when X equals -4, then really what I want is I want to find out what is F of -4. And that would be -1 divided by -4 minus 1. So that's going to be -1/5. That's going to be +1/5. So I have the point -4 1/5. Let's just take another look at the graph here and make sure that that is that's accurate. And that looks about right there, that point. If I kind of like try to look at the Y value of it, the Y value of that point, if this is 1 right there, because here's 2, then that looks like it could be about 1/5. So I would say that this point right here is the point -4, 1/5. It looks good on the graph and it kind of substantiates my algebra that I just did. So now I have a point. I have the slope. Well, I'm going to use a point slope form of the equation of a line. So I'm going to say that the equation of my tangent line is y minus my Y value, 1/5, is equal to m 1/25 times x minus my x value. So x minus -4 would be x plus 4. Well, I say let's find out if it's really true. So let's go share the screen. Well, screen 1, share. Let's go back to Desmos. And we're going to put in the equation of this line. So it is y minus 1/5 is equal to 1/25 times x plus 4. Yes, it worked. Okay, see, I got this blue tangent line. It's only hitting the function at that one spot, which is -4 1/5. So I've kind of used my algebra and my calculus and my limits to find out the equation of the line that is tangent to the function at the point where x equals -4. So that said, okay, hands raised if that is just like awesome beyond belief. What? Oh, come on. All hands should be raised. That is awesome beyond belief. All right. All right, good. Okay, Mr. Oriana, you can turn off the recording now.